Salve ragazzi, ben arrivati a una nuova puntata sul Calice Nero con il nostro teschio della morte. Ben arrivato Adimer, buonasera.
Buonasera
Finalmente di nuovo.
maestro. Da quanto?
Allora, da un bel po', infatti, non mi ricordo l'ultima diretta che avevamo fatto adesso.
Nemmeno io, onestamente. Quindi è stato veramente un sacco di
Tutto
tempo
bene?
fa.
Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, dai te.
Tutto bene, grazie. Allora,
Bene.
ricordiamo questo libro appunto di poesia, Giulia Ambrosini. All'interno si sta facendo molta pubblicità su questo libro perché veramente ne vale la pena. Ci sono varie poesie appunto di Giulia Ambrosini, che poi vedete le sorprese appunto di questa piccola poetessa veramente con le palle quadrate. Allora, Adimer, oggi annunciamo niente meno che i Cancer con
Sì.
appunto Daniel il bassista, uno dei nomi death thrash abbastanza importanti, anche se hanno seminato tanto e raccolto non il quanto necessario rispetto ad altre band. Ma questo è un dato di fatto, purtroppo, per tante band che meritano e quelle che non meritano raccolgono. Purtroppo è così.
Quindi appunto presentiamo qui Daniel Maganto, il bassista dei Cancer e di altri progetti come Eternal Storm, Liquid Graveyard e Sanctu. Hi Daniel and welcome to Calice Nero. It's a real pleasure to have you here. So thanks for being here and sharing some time with us.
Buonasera, thank you for having me here. It's an honor.
You're more than welcome. So we are already starting with the questions. So I am going to start with my own question, which is pretty simple. We presented you as the basis for Cancer, but you are one of the latest entries in the band. How did it happen that you got to be the basis for Cancer? Because it's quite a huge honor, I guess, for you for being a part of the lineup.
Yes, I mean, I've been a huge fan of the band for many years. Well, I mean, John and I, we know each other for a while because, besides being a fan of his music, we met at festival playing together with some of our other bands. I used to have like kind of like a black metal grindcore band called Under Vultures, like around 11 years ago, I think it was, or yeah, something like that. And I played with Liquid Graveyard, which is one of the other bands from John and his wife, Raquel. I play bass with them now, actually, you know, how things change. And I think like, yeah, I mean, we met each other, we got along pretty well, and we kept in touch. They were organizing a festival with a couple of cool bands, Momakil from Switzerland, Hemorrhage, and then our bands were playing as well. And I helped them a little bit because, nowadays, like my main job is in the music business. I do productions from festivals for metal tours and rock tours playing in Spain. I kind of handle the logistics. So I helped them a little bit with that, and we kept in touch. They went to see my other band, Eternal Stone, playing with Lockup. So I mean, every now and then we spoke. And then the thing that I started playing bass for Liquid Graveyard in 2015, and yeah, I mean, we've done a few festivals since then. Since it's like a fun project, it's not super demanding. It's not like all the bands who have like a very schedule or agenda, know what to do. Whereas Liquid Graveyard is fun. We do 1 or 2 festivals every year. It's easy. And the thing is that around a year ago, Raquel and John asked me if I wanted to play bass in Cancer because Ian and Carl decided to leave the band because they have been doing it for such a long time that I understand that some people, especially after the pandemic and everything, it's hard to keep the motivation. Whereas John was decided to carry on with the band's spirit and legacy and everything. And since he knew me because we already played together, he asked me if I will be up to do that. And of course, it was a huge honor to do that. I like the band a lot. And of course, I've never played the festivals like I'm playing right now. And it's like a weird feeling because, I started listening to Cancer when I was 14. And, like 16 years later, I'm playing those songs live that I was listening in my room.
It's like a dream come true.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's funny how things will, happen. You never know what can happen. Life has a lot of surprises. for you, good and bad. So far, I'm enjoying the good ones.
So what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, so you know each other for quite some time.
Yeah, like around a decade ago, something like that. I mean, but of course we got closer in the past few years when we started to play together in Liquid Graveyard. And the thing is that, even though Cancer is a British band from Telford, close to Birmingham and that area, and John moved to Madrid, Spain, around almost 20 years ago. So I'm Spanish, as you can tell from the accent, because I'm in no way.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is that now the whole lineup is based in Spain.
So it's easier nowadays to
because,
be able to have that.
Before that, Ian and Carl were still in Telford or in the UK, and John was in Madrid. And now with Brexit, with everything, the logistics are even harder.
Mm-hmm. Will be a pain in the ass to actually make it happen right now. Okay, so now I'm going to translate the reply that you gave me. I will try and maybe not compensate, but make it like
a summary,
slightly shorter.
Yeah, of course. Everyone will appreciate it.
Allora, praticamente gli ho chiesto come è stato appunto il suo ingresso all'interno dei Cancer, perché appunto lui assieme al batterista e chitarrista sono le ultimi ingressi, proprio sono entrati nel 2022. Praticamente ha spiegato che un po' per la questione dei suoi altri progetti, tra cui i Liquid Graveyard, e anche proprio il suo lavoro di produzione dal punto di vista di festival, concerti in Spagna, eccetera, eccetera. Praticamente ha avuto modo di dare una mano a John con i suoi progetti, con tutto quello che riguarda appunto anche la questione festival in sé, e da là sono rimasti in contatto, nel senso che appunto andavano magari a vedere concerti l'uno dell'altro, quindi si sono tenuti i contatti in questa decade che sono andati avanti a frequentarsi, parlando principalmente. Appunto, siccome lui suona in un altro progetto che è appunto Liquid Graveyard, già con It's John's wife that you're playing with in Liquid Graveyard. Ok, e appunto siccome lui suona nei Liquid Graveyard con la moglie di John, quando c'è stata la necessità, perché lui ha detto un po' mettici la pandemia, quindi magari si perde la motivazione ad andare avanti, eccetera eccetera, praticamente lei assieme a John gli hanno chiesto se voleva entrare come bassista nei Cancer, e ha detto che questo per lui è stato una soddisfazione non da poco, perché lui ascolta i Cancer da quando aveva 14 anni e si è ritrovato 16 anni dopo praticamente a poter suonare le stesse canzoni che ascoltava in camera sua all'epoca. E detto poi anche proprio il fatto che il progetto la band è nata in Inghilterra. John una ventina di anni fa si è trasferito in Spagna, a Madrid, appunto lui è spagnolo, e questo ha semplificato molto le cose. Poi metterci di mezzo anche la Brexit, eccetera eccetera, quindi è andato tutto per il meglio, quindi gli è stato chiesto, lui ha accettato più che volentieri, quindi eccoci qua praticamente.
Perfetto. I Cancer a livello testuale, concettuale, sono affini al gore e all'horror, quindi due tematiche, ma anche alla morte, death. Quanto questi tre concetti possono essere una sorta di filosofia dei Cancer, nel senso che anche quando si esibiscono, quanto possono far fuoriuscire questa parte del gore e dell'horror, ma allo stesso tempo, se loro diventano produttori di un film ben preciso che mischia appunto, oscilla horror e gore, come andrebbe a intitolarsi il film? E quale track sarebbe quella ideale per descrivere la parte orrorifica?
So we can say that Cancer's motto and philosophy and themes relate about gore, horror, death, and how can this be brought out while playing? And from your point of view, what can be more suitable for a movie that you are going to write as Cancer, basically? And what kind of movie, whether you have one in mind that already is existing, or if you want to make up your own, what is going to be about?
Well, I mean, all the members in the band enjoy horror films. John is definitely the expert, but I'll say, like maybe some like Zombie from Lucio Fulci is a film that maybe could fit with some of our vibes, I'll say, or Day of the Dead by George R. Romero, Dead and Buried. I mean, even though lyrics have changed in the band a little bit, they're still like kind of shocking and straightforward. But well, even though I don't write the lyrics, of course, first and foremost, but I think that ever since the first record, the sins of mankind, I feel like the topics are a bit more related to real world horrors. I mean, instead of fiction that was and films and stuff like that, because I know, for instance, Into the Acid from To the Gory End, it's about Robocop, stuff like that. Yeah.
So you are basically saying that it's more on the uh, both sides, like the real kind of gore and violence and what goes on in the real world, and also the abstract kind of horror. So the more zombie-like
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing.
mean, like the early stuff from the band, of course, I think it was more influenced by the horror themes. I mean, if you have a look at the cover artwork for To the Gory End, it's Dawn of the Dead, basically,
Mhm.
the machete and zombie and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But nowadays, yeah, I mean, of course, that horror, maybe like horror themes and novels and stuff like that are still a part of the band's identity. But from what John has told me, he's mainly, like dealing more with real life horrors, because there's a lot of the stuff that's even worse than fiction. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know, like when,
The things that you know are there, but
yeah, yeah,
you don't really have
you don't want to
heard
accept them,
about.
or yeah, or you haven't heard about them yet.
Mhm. And I mean, it's pretty interesting because, as you say, like real horrors are actually, from my point of view, the most shocking ones.
Yeah.
So I guess that also like a good pro in terms of like the lyrics and themes in general, because it's really fucked up out there. So I can see the point. Ok, praticamente ha detto che per quanto riguarda un film horror che possa rappresentare quello che è Cancer e uno stile di per sé, potrebbe essere quello di Fulci o tipo L'alba dei morti viventi, ehm, di Romero. E ha detto che però ci sono tante cose variabili, perché appunto i testi passano dal primissimo periodo, che è quello più incentrato sulla sfera, quella da film horror classico, appunto con lo stile Romero e Fulci, ma anche come orrori reali, quelli del mondo moderno, diciamo, quelli che ci sono ma che non vediamo, che partono, lui ha detto, ad esempio, da The Sense of Mankind. E questo principalmente, nel senso che c'è talmente tanta verità, e comunque appunto lui parla più da un punto di vista di fan, appunto non avendo ancora pubblicato niente con loro, e tutto potrebbe andare bene alla fine. So you're basically saying that everything can be relatable in the terms of horror, like that everything horror in general can describe Cancer.
Well, I mean, not only horror, of course, because there's other stuff that might be a bit more, I know, more based on some social aspects of our current era, stuff like that. But what a lot of people, like relate cancer to, like B movies, like gore, splatter, everything.
Slasher movies.
Yes, slasher
And
movies. I mean, of course, we're not Cannibal Corpse or stuff like that, or Carcass. But yeah, but I also think that it's a part of the band's identity, at least in some specific era.
Ok, thank you. Praticamente ha aggiunto che gli ho chiesto per conferma se effettivamente tutto quello che riguarda la sfera horror può descrivere Cancer, però effettivamente si parla anche proprio mi viene da dire quasi critica alla società, nel senso che si parla di quella sfera anche principalmente, però appunto dicevano non siamo i Cannibal Corpse o i Carcass, nel senso che appunto nel primo periodo era più horror specifico, però appunto sta traslando e sta cercando di rendere la cosa quanto più adatto alla persona possibile, che mi viene da dire.
Ok. Invece, qual è il disco dei Cancer, quello più, secondo appunto Daniel, nel risuonarlo da parte sua più ostico, più difficoltoso, e invece quello più semplice anche allo stesso tempo?
So, from your point of view, what is the easier stuff to play from Cancer compared to the most difficult ones? Which are the two albums or songs that you feel like you have struggles playing, and which one are like no issue at all? You can go through it easily.
Well, I think that to the very end is a bit more basic. Of course, like the members were super young. It was the first time they were like in a proper studio. They did a couple of demos before that, and they only had like I think like 4 days to record and mix everything. And most of of what we hear nowadays are like first takes, which I mean it's awesome.
It's impressive.
It's impressive, especially because nowadays I know we're getting used to hearing music is like super, polished and edited, and it sounds like really perfect. And it's kind of like the charm with the early death metal records or with other bands like Venom or Celtic Frost. You hear the mistakes, but it adds to the charm of the thing a lot, I think. But well, I mean, Cancer has never been a technical band, first and foremost. Of course, I mean, they're getting a bit more sophisticated, and not me, but the other know how to play the instruments, right? And of course, we had James in the band, that he was a really skillful guitar player, and John also actually listens to a lot of different genres, and you can hear it that like on Black Faith or on Shadow Grip that he can do more like 2 power chords. I'm actually like learning a couple of tracks from Black Faith just because I like the record a lot, and it's more challenging, you will think, and especially if you compare that to the early records. But I mean, I don't think that Cancer is particularly difficult.
So basically, it's not like a difficulty in terms of actually playing them, but more of a song structure kind of
Yeah, the
thing, like the
structure and stuff like
production.
that, and getting like the right vibe and the right groove. It's more about the feeling and everything, because the riffs are catchy, heavy, aggressive, but we don't have wonky parts. I mean, some solos are maybe like more technical, but I play bass. What can I say?
Play the root notes and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Ok, praticamente ha detto che di per sé non c'è un materiale che sia più facile o uno più difficile, perché comunque Cancer non è mai stato una band tecnica da quel punto di vista, nel senso che musicalmente parlando è molto molto semplice. Poi l'ho ironizzato, io sono il basso, quindi non ho problemi da quel punto di vista. No, una cosa che well, that's true, I mean ha detto che per quanto riguarda il materiale, quello un po' più semplice da un punto di vista strutturale, è proprio parliamo del primo periodo, quindi To The Gory End, che ha detto appunto erano giovani, avevano fatto solo 2 demo prima di questo e hanno avuto qualche giorno per registrare tutto quanto, e si sente che appunto è semplice, però anche solo il fatto che ci siano quelle imperfezioni nel suono, perché appunto comunque parliamo del 1990, quindi non c'era tutta la tecnologia che c'è adesso per ripulire il suono e renderlo pulitino e cristallino. E questa è anche un po' la bellezza appunto di quell'epoca di death metal. E però ci sono canzoni tipo come su Black Fate, e che sono molto più elaborate dal punto di vista di strutture, e comunque appunto sono musicisti tutti capacissimi eccetera, quindi non magari sì trovi la roba tecnica, ma più da un punto di vista chitarre che magari da un punto di vista di basso appunto. E questo è quanto. Okay, now I'm going to ask you about like your musical journey as both a musician and a listener. So you've been playing around with bands and so on, at least according to Metal Archives and that kind of knowledge, since 2008 or so. So it's 14 years of your career. And my question is, what brought you to play music, metal, and what brought you to the, let's say, the dark side of metal, so more on the extreme side?
Well, like I started learning an instrument a lot. Actually, my main instrument is guitar. But I mean, I started playing bass in Louis Graveyard. That was like the first one I was playing bass for, and I actually bought a bass just to play in Louis Graveyard. And now I'm playing bass in more bands than play guitar. It's like it's funny how it's like
Life is what it is.
yeah. The joke is on me now. The thing is that Faith No More were pretty much like the band that made me want to learn an instrument and to play in bands. Even though I was already shortly later, I was starting to listen to extreme bands like Napalm Death, Catatonia, Morbid Angel, Enslaved, stuff like that. But it was like they gave me like the urge to maybe I
Pick
can
up
do
the
this.
instrument.
Yeah, to let's. I enjoy a lot of different genres, even though most of the bands I've been in are pretty much extreme metal. But I don't know, I love shoegaze, I love post rock, I love soundtracks and stuff like that. So, but my first band was Eternal Storm, which I still play in. It's like I started discovering bands on my own because I mean, first the thing is that I'm 29. I'm turning 30 in May, so of course I'm coming from a different generation than John or other people. So the internet made things a lot easier for me. I mean, it's not like I didn't have to do tape trading. I didn't have to do a lot of stuff, which was super amazing and had a lot of merit. And I wish I had lived that era because it was amazing. But of course, it was a lot of hard work. It was expensive. It was time consuming. Whereas when I was 12 or 13, I went on YouTube or Soulseek and I just downloaded whatever I liked.
Yeah, or just like check the link and you send it out rather than just sending mails, letters, and whatever. Because I'm 27, so I can relate to that.
You know how it is. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I buy a lot of music still. I mean, like I buy CDs, vinyl, and cassettes even. So I mean, I really spend a lot of money on records because I like it a lot. But of course, I understand that sometimes it's more practical to listen to the music on Bandcamp or Spotify or YouTube. It's convenient. It is what it is.
Yeah, you can find like the depths of the genres and get into the rabbit hole and never get out, basically.
Totally.
Especially with genres like as you say, like post rock and shoegaze, which are the most undergroundish, even though it's coming out pretty much lately. And I can see the struggle, like finding bands I mean, that's a never-ending
quest.
Yeah, exactly. Praticamente allora ha detto che allora gli ho chiesto com'è iniziata la sua carriera come musicista e come ascoltatore di musica e cosa l'ha portato al metal estremo, quindi appunto a death metal e tutto quello che ne deriva. Ha detto che il suo iniziare a suonare lo strumento è stato appunto grazie alla musica, nel senso che da quando era più giovane c'è stato appunto il vantaggio di ascoltare tanta musica estrema già all'epoca, quindi appunto parlava di Napalm Death, Catatonia, Morbid Angel e questa musica l'ha portato a dire ok, io voglio provare a fare queste cose qua, so di poterci riuscire e questo l'ha portato a prendere in mano principalmente la chitarra, perché il suo strumento principale è appunto la chitarra. Lui ha iniziato a suonare il basso per poter suonare con i Liquid Graveyard, appunto ha detto che si è ritrovato in una situazione di dover comprare lo strumento apposta per loro e quindi si è formata questa sorta di scherzo che è diventato poi essere il bassista dei Cancer. E dal resto ha detto che praticamente, essendo lui 29enne, quasi 30, non c'è stata quel periodo di tape trading, eccetera, eccetera, quindi proprio spedizione di cassette, eccetera. Si è trovato molto più semplificato dal fatto dell'esistenza di YouTube, Spotify, dove lui poteva andare a cercare, scaricare tutto quello che poteva e conoscere nuove band, quindi proprio entrare in questa sorta di pozzo senza fondo che è l'internet. Ha detto che gli sarebbe piaciuto comunque vivere quel periodo giusto per capire come funzionava all'epoca, però appunto anche facendo così si è ritrovato ad ascoltare comunque generi come le colonne sonore, shoegaze, il post-rock, comunque roba che varia in tutto e per tutto. E appunto a lui è andato bene che fosse così il passaggio. Ok, now I am going to
Invece,
ask
se
you. Scusa. Now I'm going to ask you another question about the fact that you needed to pick up the bass, especially for Liquid Graveyard. And I would love to ask you your development in the equipment and how did it go under that point of view? Like, what was your first gear that you got and what you are using currently?
Well, I mean, I bought a 5-string Ibanez, sound years 705, which I'm still using pretty much these days. And yeah, I mean, for death metal, I don't need much more than a bass, a distortion pedal, which I have been changing a couple of bit. I'm using a dark glass right now. And the thing is that now we have a lot of fly-ins with Cancer, where we are, taking a lot of flights, and I recently bought a precision bass from Squire. It's like which was like classic 570s. Even though it's Squire, the quality is really good, and it's a cheap instrument. So I mean, if something happens to it, it's not gonna be like a heartbreak for me or anything like that. Because I mean, I really like my first bass, and I don't want to have it destroyed.
Yeah, no, obviously. So you want to keep it for the easy shows and the easy stuff.
It's not an expensive bass or anything, but I like it. It sounds good. I have a lot of good memories from it, and I have recorded a few records with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to use the Precision for the first time at 70 tons of metal later this month. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I have a very easy chain. I use a tuner, a noise suppressor, because I use a lot of distortion, so I want everything to be a bit more controlled and clean. Yeah, I mean, I have a small bass amp from TC Electronic, because usually when I go to festivals, I don't carry my own amp, and then I go an Ampeg and SVT Classic or stuff like that. Yeah, maybe I use a couple of. I'm thinking about using a couple of effects on a couple of tracks from the new record, but we'll see on the studio.
Yeah, but it's like more of a studio thing, using the effects more than a live
Yeah, well,
thing.
maybe I bring it just for a couple of parts live, but I like to keep it easy because, I mean, the bass playing in this kind of bands is not something super elaborate. It's more about the tone and that, like adding an extra thick of heaviness to the guitars.
Ok, praticamente gli ho chiesto, appunto, visto che ha detto che ha dovuto prendere il basso in mano per la prima volta per suonare con i Liquid Graveyard, qual è stato il suo passaggio da un punto di vista di strumentazione da quel punto di vista. E ha detto che appunto ha iniziato con con un Ibanez a 5 corde, che è quello che lo usa tuttora. Ha detto che però col fatto che hanno iniziato molto spesso a far viaggi, eccetera, eccetera, ha preso un altro basso, un Precision della Squire, e perché ha detto io ho talmente tanti ricordi, talmente tanti sentimenti legati al mio Ibanez che non vorrei che magari con i voli si rompesse, eccetera, eccetera, quindi che possa rischiare di distruggerlo e perderlo. Quindi ha preso, quasi si può dire, uno strumento, tra virgolette, da battaglia, e che userà per la prima volta per il 70,000 Tons of Metal, che è la crociera. E per quanto riguarda appunto il resto della strumentazione, è molto molto semplice. Appunto ha un pedale di distorsione che adesso usa un Darkglass. What Darkglass are you using? The B7K or
Alpha Omega.
Alpha Omega, the only
Yeah.
one. Ok. Appunto usa l'Alpha Omega della Darkglass. Come testata usa una TC Electronic. Comunque strumentazione molto molto semplice, un noise gate, un accordatore, perché appunto non gli serve una miriade di effetti, eccetera, eccetera. Lui deve solo dare praticamente corpo alle chitarre, quindi dare quel livello ulteriore di pesantezza al suono.
Allora, invece nel 1990 i Cancer fecero uscire To The Gory End. Ok, appunto Daniel in quel periodo non c'era perché proprio è entrato nel 2022. Però mi interessa il parere da parte di Daniel come spettatore. Quindi gli chiederei una cosa. Daniel, come descriveresti appunto To The Gory End attraverso dei colori particolari astratti, ma allo stesso tempo con un manoscritto antico? Come descriveresti il tutto?
So, we would love to ask for your opinion as a fan about To The Gory End. So, what is your opinion on that album, and how do you feel about it? And also, how do you want to describe the album per se by using colors like schemes and in an abstract way? And also, if you are willing to put um,
Manuscript, was it?
a manuscript, yeah. Thank you. What would it be written on that manuscript?
Mm-hmm. Interesting question. Well, I mean, color-wise, I see a lot of like crimson stuff like that. Like dark red. Of course, there's. I mean, the album cover is very, shocking.
Sunny-ish.
It's very shocking. I mean, it doesn't matter.
In
I
your
mean,
face.
if you can like it, you can hate it, but it's easy to remember. I mean, it really stuck to your mind, I think, and it's one of the potential on the stronger elements of the record. But yeah, I mean, it's the title also doesn't. I mean, it's gory, so it has to be like reddish, maybe like some kind of like skin flavor,
So
stuff like that.
pinkish, like more
Yeah,
kind of a sunset kind
yeah,
of scheme.
something like that could work. Manuscript wise, I don't know, like maybe some Bukowski poem, but I can't remember the title right now. Something like really back up from him.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. As a fan, I like the record a lot because I mean it is what it is. It's a very old record done by some very young thirst musicians. I think it was the first band from the UK that got to work with Scott Barnes. They brought him to Wales on winter. He was a Florida boy, so he was frozen. Yeah, there are a lot of cool stories from that recording sessions. But I think, I mean, it's very original. It's a very like honest record. It's brutal. It's catchy. It's relentless. It's straight to the point. You hear the solos, and they're like super primitive. They're like I don't know, like a cat scratching or something like that. But it's aggressive. It does what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's brutal, like early Sepultura, but a bit rawer, like the first Death Records, like Massacre, maybe Obituary. It's catchy. You can hear some thrash elements. You can hear some more melodic stuff, like on Witch Hunt. You have the spooky stuff, like with the keyboards on the title track to the very end. So yeah, I mean, it's like a pretty aggressive and straightforward debut.
Yeah, it's basically the rawness that makes it stand out more than what has been brought out through the years in that time. Because, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, grindcore was like early in the beginning at that time.
Well, I mean, Napalm Death had already released From Enslavement to Obliteration, and I think they actually had even Mentally Murdered. So they were just about to change the lineup and get Mitch and get Jesse and Barney. But so, and of course, you had Carcass, you got Terrorizer, because the record was recorded, it was struck in late 1999, I think it was, even though it was released in 1990. So grindcore was pretty much a thing.
Ok. Praticamente ha detto, per quanto riguarda l'album in sé, parlo prima di questo appunto per togliermi, diciamo, il malloppone di mezzo. Praticamente ha detto che appunto quell'album è grandioso anche per l'epoca che era, perché comunque è uscito nel 1990, è stato prodotto da ragazzi giovani che erano affamati di fare cose, e è stato abbastanza una svolta perché in To The Gory End c'è stata la produzione di Scott Barnes, che appunto non si ricorda esattamente, ma crede sia addirittura la prima volta che sono riusciti una band inglese a portare lui là per la produzione e tutto quanto. E comunque ha detto che è proprio figo in tutto e per tutto, cioè i suoni sono grezzi, come dicevamo all'inizio non c'è la pulizia che poteva esserci, e appunto i suoni sono molto ruvidi, distorti al punto giusto, quindi nell'insieme è proprio un album d'impatto, è orecchiabile, ho detto catchy, e questo lo rende molto molto bello ancora oggi, nonostante siano passati 30 anni dall'uscita. Per quanto riguarda la copertina di quell'album, ha detto che come schema di colori si può pensare, appunto, visto che è una copertina molto d'impatto, perché appunto c'è la testa che viene accettata con una mannaia, di sicuro il rosso di sicuro il rosso, ma anche ha detto di colori più sul versante del tramonto, quindi rosso dall'arancione al giallo, e ha detto anche un color carne, quindi sul rosetto. E per quanto riguarda il manoscritto, lui ha parlato di un poema di Bukowski, ha detto non saprei quale andare a pescare perché non gli veniva in mente nessuno al momento, però ha detto che questo qua potrebbe rappresentare molto bene l'album in sé.
Allora io riavvio la telecamera a te la domanda perché sto avendo problemi con la telecamera.
Now he's having a little bit of technical issues, so
I'll see that.
I will be asking you one more thing in the meantime, which is what is coming up for you in Cancer? You are brand new in the project. We already said multiple times, but how do you see? I mean, more what is coming up for you in Cancer? Like what is going to happen behind the scenes, if we may ask?
Yeah, of course. Well, we have a lot of festivals and shows. I mean, we're playing 70,000 tons of metal in a bit more than a week. I'm pretty nervous and excited about that because it's gonna be
Massive.
quite crazy. Yeah. And then we're flying straight to Drachten in the northern Netherlands, and we're playing an incredible festival with Pestilence, with Master, with Wormrod, and with a few other bands. And after that, we're going to Stockholm, and then we have another festival. Well, Unanimated were supposed to play there, but finally they dropped. And we have Severe Torture. We have Concrete Queens, which are a very cool band. We had who was the band? It's a death metal band with Mikael from Dark Tranquility and Daniel, the former Catatonia drummer. He was Grand Cadaver. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. So after that, we're taking a couple of weeks off without any shows, and we're gonna try to finish what's left on the new record. We still don't know when we'll record, but we really want to release it this year. So I mean, we don't have.
It's imminent.
Yeah, it has to be imminent in order to release it in this year, because also the label wants to release it as soon as possible. And I understand, because Shadow Grip is already almost 5 years. It's gonna turn 5 in November. So in a while, with lineup changes, people are always skeptical. So especially because Cancer has have a very other than that, after the first reunion, the lineup has been pretty steady. Yes, they have just had a couple of guitar players coming and going, but Carl was there all the time, and he did all the records but one. So it was like a very tight unit. So I understand that. I mean, I really like what the other guys did, and I'm happy that they are still doing projects on their own. But I think we have a lot of offer as well.
So you are going to have like quite some stress on your shoulders, sort of saying, because of the fact that basically every member changed in the new lineup apart from John. So
yeah, we're all newbies, and the thing is that the band had been a three-piece for a lot of time. So we now have a second guitar player, Miguel from Warren, where our drummer also plays in. And they're a really, really cool kind of brutal technical death metal from Madrid. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure that even though, of course, it's John who writes the backbone of the music, that we are all gonna add, we're gonna spice up some elements, and we might try some different things, but we're really gonna try to pay our respects to Cancer's sound, because the three of us, we are first and foremost fans, so we kind of know what we would like to hear, because that's what like the extra pressure, because it's not only we have joined a very classic band and kind of well respected, and I mean, of course, we're not Morbideni or Entomb, but it's a classic band and that I really like, and so it's quite a task to live up to the name.
Yeah, exactly. I can see the point, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be great because, yeah, I mean, from my point of view, as a listener, first, people can say whatever, but you need to be happy and proud of what you're putting out, anyways, no matter what the result. So,
and bands, so I mean, they have the right to fuck it up every now and then. And there's some, I don't know, like for instance with Cancer, people hate the fourth record, Black Faith, and I love it. It's actually my favorite record. But it's an unpopular opinion. But like some people are gonna like what you do. Some people want them. Some others will understand and appreciate it a few years after that. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna do our best to try to put the best album we can do, and we have a lot of shows as well. We're gonna go to Mexico and to Brazil later this
Jesus
year.
Christ.
We're playing Helsinki as well with Benediction. So yeah, there's a lot of activity. I mean, we're gonna try to have the band as busy as it's ever been, or at least in the past few years.
Just to basically show what's the potential like.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what can happen. And like maybe we do one record, we do two, but whatever is left in us, we're gonna try our best to be as busy as possible, to deliver the best shows we can, have as much fun as possible. I mean.
Ok, praticamente gli ho chiesto nel mentre che tu eri via cosa è in ballo per lui con i Cancer. Praticamente mi ha detto sì, nelle prossime settimane siamo abbastanza impegnati con festival, eccetera, eccetera. Partono col 70,000 Tons of Metal, prendo un altro festival a nord con band come ad esempio i Wormrot, e hanno un altro a Stoccolma. It's the third festival you're going to make. It's in Stockholm?
Yes, in Stockholm. Yes, it's in Stockholm.
Ok.
Extreme Sounds.
String Sounds.
Yeah.
Ok. Praticamente lo String Sound a Stoccolma. Da là praticamente ci sarà un momento di pausa più che altro perché devono completare quello che è il nuovo album, perché l'ultima uscita, inteso come full length, no, parliamo di full length, è uscito nel 2018, quindi sono quasi 5 anni, e ha detto sarebbe anche ora che uscisse qualcosa, quindi appunto devono completare le canzoni e speravano di farlo uscire per fine anno, e anche appunto perché c'hanno l'etichetta alle spalle che gli sta tra virgolette, non mettendo pressione perché sarebbe il termine sbagliato, però appunto vorrebbe che uscisse qualcosa di nuovo. Oltre a questo c'è tutto anche l'aspetto pratico, nel senso che appunto, come dicevamo, tutti i membri a parte John sono cambiati e quindi ci sono delle aspettative molto alte per quello che sarà il materiale nuovo, e il compito suo e degli altri sarà principalmente quello di portare rispetto a quello che era la vecchia line-up appunto della band, portando rispetto anche a quello che è il sound. Ovviamente magari cercheranno di evolversi, provare nuove cose, però senza stravolgere completamente tutta quella che è l'idea del progetto, perché appunto vogliono dimostrare che possono dare quello che è il nome del gruppo, quindi non vogliono deludere i fan, perché sanno cosa la gente vorrebbe sentire da loro, quindi cercheranno di portare il livello in maniera più alta, ma allo stesso tempo ottenendo quello che era una volta. E oltre a questo si aggiungerà il fatto che ci saranno molti concerti in funzione anche appunto dell'anno che sta venendo, perché ci sono un sacco di concerti che appunto dovranno ancora uscire, ma vogliono tenere la band quanto più impegnata possibile, anche in funzione di quello che era lo scopo, quello di dimostrare che la nuova line-up può dare il massimo, quindi che già dà il massimo, anche solo partendo dal fatto che inizialmente era un gruppo composto da 3 membri, adesso si è aggiunta una seconda chitarra, già questo porta a quel qualcosa in più, quindi appunto è tutto da vedere.
Ok, una domanda che mi sorge spontanea. Daniel, se portiamo i Cancer a livelli di un film drammatico, ma allo stesso livello di un film thriller, come potrebbero coniugare questi due film all'interno uno con l'altro e creare un qualcosa di nuovo, di particolare, ma anche di pericoloso per chi guarda questo film, quasi portarlo alla psichiatria?
This is kind of a tricky question, so I will try my best to translate it as
Mhm.
accurately as possible. So, if you need to take the sound of cancer and put it in a blend between a dramatic movie and a thriller movie, what kind of blend can get out, and how can it be more intriguing in a way that can scare people in a way? And he also said like take them to the psychiatric ward if necessary. So
I don't know, maybe, well, Jacob's Ladder, I don't know, stuff like that. But I think that we're too simple for such twisted film. Like, I think that maybe our since our music is more, straightforward, it's not as mysterious. And I mean,
it's kind of a tricky one.
it is.
Now you can take your time, or if you want to, if you find that maybe you can find a movie that is more relatable to what he asked, you can go for it. Don't worry about it.
Can you repeat the question again? So just in case I can come up
Okay,
with
so I will shorten up even more. So you need to put the Son of Cancer,
Yeah.
and try to picture a movie with can be made up totally,
Yeah.
or an existing one, by blending thriller and drama. And how can it be like shocking for people as well?
Well, now maybe the movie Seven could be like a good idea, for the feature.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, you have mystery, then you have a severe head in the end, which really fits cancer in a way.
Yeah.
So it has like different levels. Some parts are more subtle, and others they're like more gory, because you see the first victims, they're like very gruesome killings who feel like maybe, I don't know, like the ball cutter artwork with everything, with someone stabbed and stuff like that. So because I think that maybe a giallo will need like something more sophisticated, because I mean it is what it is. Cancer's music, it's heavy, but it's not really like multi-layered. It's like you're looking for something like with more layers, with more dynamics and everything. Maybe there are other bands maybe will fit it better. But if you're looking for something catchy and you know easy to listen to, but in a good sense. I mean, like hooky. It's easy to remember. I mean, we will fit better. So yeah, maybe 7.
Ok, hai detto che è un po' complesso poter unire queste cose. It fucking is. I mean, there's
It is.
no point in making simple
Sorry, I
questions.
couldn't live up to the question.
No, come on. Everyone has its own reply, so it's totally fine with everything you come up with. E praticamente ha detto che è abbastanza difficile unire thriller e drammatico con quello che è il suono dei Cancer, perché appunto più che misterioso, drammatico, eccetera, eccetera, Cancer è molto più dritto in faccia, quindi esatto, e straightforward, ha detto che quindi è molto più dritto al punto. E ha detto che un film che però potrebbe essere molto adatto o comunque quello che si avvicina di più è Seven, il film di Fincher del 95,
Con Brad
che
Pitt.
esatto, perché sì, misterioso, ma allo stesso tempo trovi teste mozzate, uccisioni brutali, eccetera, eccetera. Quindi diciamo che è quella sorta di campo neutro che può andare bene con quello che hai chiesto e quello che è appunto il suono di Cancer.
Se invece mettiamo La casa dei mille corpi, giusto? Il film si chiamava così. Potrebbe essere un indirizzo per i Cancer.
He is asking whether the movie
House of the Thousand Corpses, was it?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe that could work as well. Yeah, or maybe
Okay.
even you know the film I Saw the Devil, the Korean one.
Eyes of the Devil.
It has some of the cast from Old Boy.
Okay.
It's like really brutal and gruesome. It's like, you know, Tom and Jerry, the cartoons with the cat and the mouse. It's like the gory version.
Yeah.
It's like the gory version of that. It's like two guys trying to kill each other, like in a really relentless way. It's a great film, man.
Okay. How's it called again?
I Saw the Devil.
Eyes of the Devil.
I
Okay.
saw the devil.
I Saw the
the
Devil.
devil,
Ok.
yeah.
Allora ha detto che sì, La casa dei mille corpi può essere molto adatto, però ha detto che c'è un altro film che è coreano, che si chiama I Saw the Devil, quindi Ho visto il diavolo. Praticamente è detto in maniera molto molto semplice la versione cruenta di Tom e Jerry. Cioè ci sono praticamente queste due persone che si inseguono e cercano di decidersi nelle maniere più varie possibile, quindi anche quello può essere un indirizzo molto adatto.
Interessante. A te l'ultima domanda, Adimer.
Okay. Now we're going for the last question, which is the more typical of the Il Calice Nero, which is the Black Chalice in English. And it's kind of a tricky one, so bear with me. And now I'm going to ask you, if you are going to enjoy a drink while listening to Cancer, and that drink is an alcoholic beverage, which is very heavy eating, that's strong in taste, or whatever you will love to drink, what could it be that you can enjoy and that everyone can enjoy while listening to Cancer?
Tricky question, because first of I am a teetotaler, so I don't drink alcohol. Sorry.
No, you can go on also with non-alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, I mean,
we had the weirdest replies. We even had cocaine as a reply. So
now it's that liquid. Well, you never know. You don't want to know. I don't know, like, I mean, it has to be something red because, of course, the gory death metal thing. I mean, since 3/4 of the band are Spanish now, I mean, maybe some people will say sangria, which is actually similar to sangria, but I wouldn't drink that because I don't drink alcohol. But yeah, I don't know, something like that.
Or maybe just simple red orange juice.
Yeah, or salmon or gazpacho.
Even that. And as a second drink, maybe.
And as a second drink, I mean, like, I think that there are like some beers with like kind of reddish. I remember when we played Metal Days with Liquid Graveyard, they had a beer from the festival that looked like blood. I mean, even though I don't drink alcohol, I really wanted to bring the can with me because it looked really uncanny. And it was like, this is like, I don't know, this is so cool.
What is this?
What is this? I mean, but I couldn't take it with me on the flight, so that sucked.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Fucking flights. Allora, gli ho chiesto, vabbè, la classica domanda del Calice Nero, quindi cosa può essere bevuto che sia un alcolico pesante, che ti colpisca e che abbia un buon gusto, che si possa ascoltare, che si possa bere ascoltando i Cancer. E l'abbiamo beccato in fallo, perché non beve alcol. Quindi gli ho chiesto un'altra appunto una bevanda anche in generale che possa essere bevuta. Lui ha detto sangria, ha detto nonostante sia una bevanda alcolica, comunque quella può essere molto adatta, un po' per il colore, un po' per il fatto che comunque I guess sangria also because of the fact that you're in Spain, so some
Yeah,
patriotism
totally.
going on over there.
And also because of sangre, of course, which is black.
Yeah, exactly. Un po' per il nome e un po' anche per il fatto che essendo in Spagna automaticamente un po' di patriottismo ci sta.
Certo.
E come seconda bevanda ha detto che può esserci una birra, ha detto che ci sono delle birre che sono molto molto rosse, che quindi ricordano molto il sangue. Ha parlato del Metal Days che gli hanno dato questa birra che era veramente rosso sangue, e ha detto a me sarebbe piaciuto portarmi a casa una lattina di quella, solo che non mi avrebbero lasciato nel volo. Ha detto anche se non bevo alcol, quella l'avrei tenuta lo stesso.
Ok, perfetto. Allora, thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you per
Thanks a
l'intervista,
lot.
veramente è stato un onore avere appunto uno dei Cancer. Vi auguriamo il meglio. Intanto ha detto già tutto Daniel prima, tutte le news e quant'altro. C'è qualche piccola chicca da dire dei Cancer? Ultima battuta, per caso?
Is there one last thing before we're leaving? Is there any funny thing or any like small golden nugget that you want to let us know about cancer, apart from the news that we already talked about earlier?
Like, you mean like song revealed or something new? Or
Not just song reveals per se, but if there's any, not big news, but something good that's going to happen apart from what we already talked about earlier.
Well, I mean, so far, nothing more that we're gonna have a new record. That it's something that we haven't said that much, even though people kind of expect it. But yeah, I mean, like, gonna try to. We might have like some special releases coming. That apart from that, like we did, like the band did earlier with the Ball Cutter EP, we might have like some extra things about our sleeves, yes, to have some earlier releases. So it's not like, you know, the classic 3 or 4 year wait in between records. So we're probably gonna have some extra releases after the full length, just to keep the machine rolling.
Yeah, to keep the hype train going on.
Yeah.
Praticamente ha detto che di per sé non ci sono grossissime notizie, nel senso che ok, adesso stanno lavorando all'album, ma ha detto che ci saranno sicuramente, quasi sicuramente, altre uscite dopo l'uscita dell'album per mantenere il movimento, ma appunto non si riesce a rivelare molto di più rispetto a questo, insomma, non nulla che sia già stato detto.
Ok, perfetto. Salutiamo allora Daniel, in bocca al lupo per tutto e ci vediamo la prossima volta con appunto la seconda parte dei Cancer Video Interview.
So thanks again for being here this evening. It has been a pleasure for me and for Il Cattivo Maestro as well. And we are wishing the best to you and to Cancer as well. And we can't wait to have you here again for a second time.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, I'm looking at the clock and I can't believe it's been an hour already. I mean, it went by really, really fast. So
it's a pleasure to hear that. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you guys do interviews in a different way, and it's something
Thank
cool.
you.
I mean, you put a lot of effort and time, and I mean, I really need to check the rest of the ones because I really like the one with Manuel Creation, and yeah.
We have quite a different range of genres and
Yeah, I saw
whatever.
that, but
So
I couldn't find the time just to hear everything at once, because it's hard to, I had a kid not too long ago, so it's also hard to have the time for everything, to get like an hour or 90 minutes to focus on one thing. So, but yeah, but I'll definitely see the rest of the interviews.
It will be really, really appreciated, seriously. It means a lot to us. Praticamente ha ringraziato tantissimo anche noi per questa intervista. Ha detto che ci fa un sacco di complimenti per come lavoriamo, nel senso che vengono fatte le interviste in una maniera diversa rispetto al solito, e che quindi gli piace un sacco. Lui ha parlato anche prima del fatto che gli sia piaciuta un sacco l'intervista fatta con i Malevolent Creation, e ha detto che sicuramente cercherà di riprendersi anche tutto il materiale rimasto indietro, appunto, anche per la grande varietà di generi che vengono toccati. E ha detto che però comunque un attimo il tempo è quello che è, perché ha anche altre robe da fare, quindi star là un'ora e mezza a focalizzarsi è un po' difficile.
Vabbè, normalissimo. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot again.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.
Allora, ecco qua. Grazie mille, Adimer. Ricordiamo.
Grazie mille, maestro.
Che è stato un piacere, è stato un onore. Allora, ricordiamo che domenica dalle 11 alle 12 ci sarà Jorn Steingrim Holland, che è il batterista ex Windir e batterista attuale dei Raid, quindi veramente un altro batterista eccelso di grandissima qualità. Tanto Adimer ci vedremo molto presto con una nuova video interview del canale. Grazie mille ancora, Adimer, ti auguro buona serata.
Grazie mille a te.
Ci sentiamo molto presto. Au revoir. Ricordatevi che il grande spettacolo non si fermerà mai. Il sacro codice non è 000, la morte vi renderà liberi. Au revoir.